Frank and Brenda walked into their high school reunion with a mix of excitement and nervousness. They had not seen many of their classmates in over 20 years, and they couldn't wait to catch up with old friends and reminisce about the good old days. As they entered the banquet hall, they were greeted by a crowd of familiar faces, all wearing name tags and trying to reconnect with one another. They hugged and chatted with old friends, catching up on the years that had passed. Frank couldn't help but feel a sense of nostalgia as he remembered the times he spent in this very hall during high school. But their nostalgia-filled night took a turn when they received a phone call from one of their classmates. He informed them that one of their former classmates, Peter, has been accused of murder and that he is going to be in the reunion. This was a shock for Frank and Brenda, as they never would have suspected that something like this could happen to one of their friends. Frank and Brenda decided to talk to Peter and try to understand the situation. They found him sitting alone, staring blankly at the dance floor. They asked him what happened, but Peter just shook his head and told them that he didn't want to talk about it. He seemed distant and detached, as if the weight of the accusation was too much for him to bear. After their conversation with Peter, Frank and Brenda couldn't shake off the feeling that something was not right. They started to ask around and talk to other classmates to gather information about the murder case, but they were met with a wall of silence. No one wanted to talk about it, as if they were all hiding something. As the night went on, Frank and Brenda's curiosity grew. They couldn't stop thinking about the case and the possibility that their friend could be falsely accused. They knew they had to investigate further, and they were determined to get to the bottom of it. As they left the reunion and headed home, Frank turned to Brenda and said, "We can't let this go. We have to help our friend. Let's investigate this case." And Brenda, with a determined look on her face, replied, "You're right. Let's do this." The next day, Frank and Brenda began their own investigation into the murder case. They talked to old friends, dug through old records, and pieced together clues that they hoped would lead to the truth. But as they delved deeper into the case, they soon realized that the investigation would be a much more difficult and dangerous task than they had anticipated. And the audience is left wondering what will be the outcome.